morning, Rooted. Hope you're having a great day. It's Wednesday. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about this fact that God gives us eternal life in Jesus Christ. We know this from one of the most familiar verses in the Bible. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. And then eternal life. These are words that the Bible uses interchangeably to talk about the life that we get in Jesus Christ. Now, automatically, all of us project eternal life into eternity. We project everlasting life into something that we will enjoy one day. But I would just remind you that the Bible tells us that Jesus came to give us that life right now. John chapter 10, verse 10 reminds us that Jesus came that we might have life and that we might have it more abundantly. So eternal life cannot just be living forever, because people who go to hell live forever. People who are in heaven live forever. So that's not the definition. We understand that he's talking about not quantity of time, but quality. That he gave us life and he gave it to us more abundantly. Abundantly just means overflowing on all sides all the time. Let me ask you something. Do you have that kind of life? It overflows on all sides at all the time? That's what Jesus died to give us. That is our eternal life. And it's not something that we enjoy in eternity. It's something that we can live in right now. And in this time of quarantine and isolation and separation from people, in times when I see people getting bored and aggravated and frustrated, when domestic abuse calls are up at the police departments across America, when all kinds of problems are going on created by these environments, we as Christians have life that should be overflowing on all sides at all times. And the world is looking for that kind of security, that kind of joy, that kind of fulfillment and satisfaction. You said, oh, Brother Dusty, my life isn't nowhere near overflowing on all sides at all times. I barely get a drip to come out of the glass sometimes. Well, I'm going to remind you, 1 John chapter 5 says that he that hath the Son has the life. If you have Jesus, you do have abundant life. You do have eternal life. You do have everlasting life. You're just not by faith appropriating it and using what God gave you so you can live in the good of it. God's people should never be discouraged. We should never be cast down. We should never be pouty and dissatisfied, moping around like the rest of the world, aggravated and irritated and frustrated. That's not how he called us to live. We should be living a life overflowing on all sides all the time. That's how he wants us to live. And if you have Jesus, you have that life. You do have it. Ask God to help you live in the good of it. It's not quantity, it's quality. We're the only people in the world who have a right to be happy. We're the only people in the world who have a right to rejoice. And Paul said at the end of 1 Corinthians chapter 15, that even though he was dealing with all kinds of things in Corinth, even though he was suffering persecution, fighting all of these things, that he was always abounding in the work of the Lord. Hey, don't just talk about what you're going to do after the pandemic is over. Always abound in the work of the Lord right now. Ask him to give you the good of eternal life. Ask him to open up doors of opportunity for you and use this not as a setback, but as a step forward in your Christian life and live in the good of overflowing on all sides all the time. Rooted, I hope this is true in your life. The world is looking for something just like this. May it be true in ours. Thank you for listening.